Honey, turn that down. I'm about to make a video. Turn it down. So, here's what I've discovered and what I think that a lot of us can benefit from. A little bit of political education. You know, some of us are what we call culture nationalists that basically focus on the culture of being African. Some of us are uh, into spirituality that has us really redirecting our focus to um, godly things or ethereal things and metaphysical things and spiritual things and all of these things. And I think that I think that one of the reasons why we can't really see eye to eye when we're going across these different planes of existence in the African existence, the African dynamic, is because we don't know anything about our political understanding as African people. And when you understand, when you gain a little bit of information about economics and how economic policies within the United States and also economic foreign policies outside of us and how that affects African people, you begin to connect the dots, right? You begin to connect the dots to see how and why African people are still in the state that they're in. You know, I did a video on Black people and capitalism, entitled Black People and Capitalism Don't Mix, and I kind of touched on it. But for us to really understand, and I think even have a unified struggle toward the independence and refocus us, not just have a unified struggle toward independence, but also refocus us into one trajectory. It doesn't matter what your religion is. It doesn't matter, you know, what metaphysical thing going on. It doesn't matter that you want to be a culture nationalist. You can all do that. But you can't. But the main thing is you can't do that while you're still oppressed. All of those things I call are escapism. Escapism. Ways to make yourself feel good within the system of oppression instead of actually being actively involved in pushing the oppression off of you. And when you start to think about all of the things, the systems, the most overall system of capitalism, and how they generate little systems like the IMF and poverty and all these other things to keep African people oppressed, then you start to figure out ways, you start to come up with solutions. So when I talk specifically about how the IMF and World Bank have infiltrated the Caribbean because, you know, that's just a special interest of mine. I think that I call that, you know, little Africa down there. Um, when you start to see how they have these policies in order to impoverish the people of the Caribbean, not just Haiti, but every single person in the Caribbean, and you start to see how they've taken this model to the Caribbean because they've already been practicing it in Africa to continue to subjugate African people. And I said it before, African people have no use within the system unless we're workers. And the time that we are become useless as workers, they will start to not care if we die. They don't care if we survive, as long as they can get at our resources, pretty much. And so when we have a political understanding of everything, which connects to economic understanding, we begin to realize how it is and why we can, how and what kind of solutions we need to have. I have a plan in my head of what needs to be done. I know how I need to do it. I know what engine I can use to get at there, at the solution. I know, you know, just all these things. And it also helps. It's not like I came up with this complete idea of myself. It was because I'm in an organization. I'm in the Uhuru movement. I am a member of the African People's Socialist Party. I'm also a member of a party organization, AFDEP, and I support all the other organizations. You have to belong to an organization that's going to focus you in that way. And before I used to say, I'm going to refer you to an organization that's in your neighborhood or in your city if the whole movement isn't there. And now I'm going to challenge you that if you really want something to change, the only politics that I believe in, the only movement that I believe in, who have a clear, unfuddled, unfucked around with crisp analysis of the whole entire situation, is the whole movement. And I know some of y'all got problems with it for some reasons. I'm not even going to bring them up in this video with the movement itself because of certain people that are allowed to be in it. But I say that no other organization is really bringing the clarity that the reform movement is bringing. And so this has helped shape my political understanding. I'm glad, and I hope that more people, women and men, children, etc., can understand how simple it is if we just open our eyes to look at how these systems are oppressing African people. And then at that point, we can start working to solve those issues. And number one, point blank, power in our own hands, control of our resources, etc. So anyway, that's just my little drop of light bulb that I'm going to put on you today. And peace. But only if you're willing to fight for it.